Welcome to another edition of Quarantine Convos, powered by the new St. Cloud State Huskies Athletics app, now available on the Google Play Store and Apple Store. I'm joined today by three familiar faces on the St. Cloud State men's hockey team: Kevin Fitzgerald, Will Hammer, and Andre Trable. Guys, thanks for taking time out of your day to talk to me today.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. And now, right out of the gate, I just want to say, did you guys ever think we were going to get any hockey back on TV or see the end of this NHL season?
I don't know. I mean, I'm glad we did, though. It's been pretty fun to watch, especially in the bubble, like having so many games. I feel like there's like hockey on or basketball on at all times, so I think it's been great.
Yeah, it's been good that they're back on. I know when there was no sports on, it was tough to find something to do, so I'm glad they were able to play some games, and it sounds like the bubble's working out pretty good for them. So, yeah, it's been fun tuning into all those games.
Yeah, I don't know what to add to it, but I just agree. It's good like to watch hockey every day. You know, like it's on for I don't know like 8 hours. Maybe now it's only 2 games a day, but it's really good and we enjoyed watching with the boys.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of liking the hockey in August a little bit more so typically than we'd see hockey normally.
Yeah, same. I feel like sometimes like in the spring, like it's after your hockey season, you've had hockey for so many months and now you're like re-energized and it's fun to watch. And it's playoff hockey too, so it's awesome to see.
Yeah, it feels weird having hockey on while it's warm out. I feel like I'm living in Florida or something like that. So, new.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but we still, you know, like it's still hockey, and it doesn't matter if it's summer or winter. It's still hockey for us.
Now, for me, my Stanley Cup predictions, once we get to the finals, I've been looking towards the Colorado Avalanche and the Philadelphia Flyers. Who have you guys been picking to see it make it this season?
I think we all did. So we're actually all in the same house right now. But so we all did like a bracket, and I have Boston playing Colorado. Or no, I'm sorry, I have Boston playing Vegas with Boston winning. That was like before Tuukka Rask opted out, so I don't know how I feel about it.
Change things for you?
Yeah.
I went all Colorado Avalanche this whole way. I thought my mindset was that the younger teams might have an easier time transitioning back. And so I thought Avalanche has a lot of young guys and a lot of speed out there. So that's my pick. They're not looking too bad right now either.
My pick was Carolina. At the beginning, I thought they could surprise everyone. But now when they're out, I would probably pick Colorado as well.
And we've also got to see some really exciting games, specifically talking about that triple overtime game between the Columbus Blue Jackets and then Toronto Maple Leafs as well. Have there been any games or big upsets that have really surprised you guys here this summer?
Well, first off, that game was crazy. I think we were like, it was the third period, or maybe it was just going into overtime when we got on the ice and we skated. And then we like came back home after our skate. We're like making dinner. Like, wait, this game is still on. Like, what is going on? Like, that was pretty nuts. But I've been surprised by Vancouver. That's like not a team that I watch very much. But they're so exciting. Like, especially their power play. They have so many like younger, skilled players. So that's like one team I've been watching a lot because they played a lot of the later games too. So it's like right before I go to bed, I'll watch them in my room. So that's been like something that I think has been really exciting.
Yeah. I thought it's been exciting, but it reminded me of, I don't know, Kevin, if you can chime in, if it was our freshman or sophomore year at the NCHC tournament where we went into that long overtime game against UMD. And I think it was sophomore year. But anyways, I remember the guys coming back in the locker room, and that might only been one overtime period, you know, coming back and maybe late into the second overtime and just seeing like how tired everybody was. So I can only imagine, you know, that game and the players in that game and how tiring that was, not only mentally or physically, but mentally as well. So it was pretty impressive.
I can't even imagine how special it was for the both teams, but we were watching the game and that was crazy. You know, like I can't even imagine playing, I don't know, 6 periods a game. Or 7. Like that's a lot.
Yeah, I think too, like kind of Will, when we were talking about overtimes, like just from like a fan perspective, like you see like how many overtimes was it? I don't even remember, but however many it was, like, and they're playing and it's that fast and the pace and it's like good hockey. Like it wasn't. I remember playing like in juniors, we go into like second, like double overtime, and it was like, oh my god, like I can't even like skate anymore. And then those guys are like flying around. I remember watching like Yanni Gord come off the bench and like fly up the middle. It's like, how is he doing that? Like how is his body working like that right now? But that was really impressive, I thought.
Yeah.
And what do you guys do when you get put in those situations too? I mean, you mentioned it when you're watching those guys on the ice, and even just double overtime, let alone triple overtime. How do you kind of keep the physicality up and everything of that nature?
I mean, I guess my role, I'm just trying to provide some energy to other players, whether it's like in the locker room and stuff. I remember that double overtime game Will was talking about. I remember like Patty Newell and Blake Lazat and Robbie, they were just absolutely gassed. And like at that point, you're just trying to, when you get out there, like provide a spark, get some energy going. Like I remember that game specifically. Like Micah, Sam Henches, I think it was Broadsy were playing together, and they were like a spark every time they went out there, just kind of simplifying their game and being physical and trying to, provide energy.
Yeah. I just remember, like, first of all, like the electrolyte and just like eating in between periods was huge. Like guys coming back in and literally having like a banana and like these electrolytes that you throw in water and Powerade. So guys trying to find energy and find quick carbs. But only not like, with that being said, you kind of just have to play smart. You can't get stuck out there for 2 minutes or whatever, because you're going to be, it's not going to be good. So you kind of have to play smart, and you're kind of feeling each other out. You're kind of picking and choosing your chances. So
Yeah, how Hammer said, I'm sure they had to eat something between periods, some snacks, to keep with the energy and, like still trying to win the game. It's not like just survive it. It's like you still will not win it. And with that being said, probably like what's huge is breathing. Like when you get off the ice, like, you got to be back like in 1 or 2 minutes. Like you need to breathe, and like take some break. That's huge in that game.
And then transitioning back to talking about the Stanley Cup playoffs, Andrei Shveznikov was one of my favorite players to see this postseason. Have there been any players that have been really exciting for you guys to watch?
I just think like with Vancouver, I think Quinn Hughes is so fun to watch. Like he's so fast and so skilled. Pretty much like everybody on Tampa Bay is fun to watch. But I think the biggest one, which I think you guys will say too, is Nathan McKinnon. It's just so good at hockey. Like it's crazy. But yeah, that's who I think's been fun.
yeah, the first person who pops out of my mind is Nathan McKinnon for sure. It's like every time he touches the puck, it's like he's faster and stronger. Just seems like he's moving faster than everyone else out there. Pretty similarly, but probably not up to his par as Connor McDavid. But it's just fun watching both of them like handle the puck and have the puck on their stick, because it's something exciting is going to happen every time.
One person I've been watching a lot as a defenseman is for sure Makar, because like he's fast, he can shoot the puck, and like he's so good. Like I can't even I don't know like if there is any better defenseman, like, and he's still young, so I love watching him.
And then I'm curious to know too, and I'm sure people watching at home are too, how did you guys get started in hockey, and what made you want to play the sport?
Well, neither of my parents like played hockey or anything, but like when I was a kid, I would roller skate a lot, and there's like this like roller skating rink in my house, so that's kind of how I got started, just with like roller skating and stuff. And then I transitioned to like ice hockey, like when I was like 3 or 4, and I absolutely hated it at first. But like I remember, I was like, I don't remember this. But my mom like says like I was like crying on the ice, like my like eyes could like barely get over the boards, and like I was just like bawling. She's like, no, like you're not coming off. Just basically like not letting me quit, I guess. But then I just obviously fell in love with it and been playing ever since.
Yeah. I've my older brother, Andrew, he kind of got me into hockey, and he was the first sibling in my family to play. And so I feel like I was always just hanging around him and wanted to skate with him and his friends. And I had some uncles on my mom's side that played hockey, but other than that, it was Andrew who kind of helped me build the love of the game. And I built a lot of it outside, playing on outdoor rinks with him, and I just grew up with it and ended up loving it ever since.
My dad was playing hockey, and as a small kid, I had a lot of energy, and I just wanted to be as my dad. So I don't know, I loved playing hockey and practicing and all that, so I stick with it.
And Kevin, maybe for you, you already had just said this, but do you guys have any embarrassing hockey stories that just kind of stick out in your mind?
How much time do you have? I've probably got a lot of them. Embarrassing? I don't know. Like, I've been on the ice with my skate guards like so many times.
Yeah.
I bet I have like a bunch of them, but I just can't think of any right now.
I can think. I just feel like I feel like everybody's done the skate guards. Like you still have your skate guards on, and you run onto the ice, and it's like fall in front of everyone. Like everyone's had to do that a time or two. I feel like, I mean, I've definitely had mistakes that have like ended games, and like your team loses like directly because of your mistake, and that's embarrassing for sure. I can remember like when I was a kid, I was like, I don't know, 8. And I had like what I thought was a sick goal, and I like bowed to the crowd. There's like 15 parents watching, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" Like, still one of the most embarrassing
From
moments.
when you did that, I don't know what I would think if I saw.
Oh my gosh!
It was just.
That's
It was,
right. Oh, if I
it's just like
scored,
one of those things. You're sitting in bed at night, and you're like, "Gosh, I can't believe I did that like 10 years ago."
You're like 8 years old. It still haunts you. Like, yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I got one story too. That's something what didn't happen to me, but when I was like 10, we played a game against our rival, and one of my teammates, he jumped over their bench, and he just sit down, and like he didn't know he jumped over their bench. So he just sit there, and he was looking like for his bottle, like, and it wasn't there. And he was like what's happening, And then like he looked like around, like all the players were just watching it. and then so he jumped back on the ice and went to our bench, but it was crazy, and I was laughing so hard.
That is awesome.
Kevin, have you thought of one big moment yet, or just too many to think of?
Will, do you have any embarrassing hockey stories of me? Like, I feel like you would have some. I've never bowed to the crowd after a goal.
That one probably took the game.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of embarrassing things that Kevin does before games, but nothing like
real nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever saw this video, but I know I reshared it on a couple of my social media platforms. But the Carolina Hurricanes, when I forget the name of the guy, but when he screams at Andrei Svechnikov before every game. Any of you guys do anything like that?
David and I do something. It's not like that. It's like really hard to explain. David's just a very interesting person. Like, he's an awesome guy, but I don't know. It's hard to explain. But we do something like, I would say like similar, like not as loud, but yeah, I guess I don't know.
I'm definitely not on that level at all. I think I'm like more to myself, and like I'm not a big screamer. I leave the screaming and all the fanatics up to Kevin. That's Kevin in a nutshell for our team. So
yeah, same with me. I don't really scream, so I just I'm just focusing for the game and just getting ready.
Will's a screamer. Will's definitely a screamer.
No.
Now, I want to ask you guys another thing, too. I'm assuming you all watch football. With this upcoming NFL season, who are you projecting to make it to the Super Bowl? I know that's a little bit early, but it seems like some people have already got some ideas going.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be like the Bears versus whoever.
No, it'll probably be the Minnesota Vikings. The Bears will not make it out of the NFC.
When's the last time the Vikings won the NFC North?
When was the last time the Bears did anything good?
They won the NFC North 2 seasons ago, Will. Went 2-0 versus the Vikings last year.
As you can tell, we have a little rivalry in our house. We have a few Vikings fans, a few Bears fans. But I don't know. Kansas City obviously looks good on paper, but hard to kind of repeat.
Yeah.
We
play fantasy football, though. Like, we have a big fantasy football league, and Will and I are the reigning champions.
Oh, yeah.
We're looking to defend our title.
So you guys mentioned you have this little rivalry going on in your house. What does that make Sundays like for you guys?
I can't watch games with Will.
Oh,
He's too loud.
yeah, it usually starts with us watching games on the same television, but then it ends up like people in separate rooms, like rooting for their own team.
When the I want to talk about embarrassing stories. So like when the Bears are playing good, like I let Will know, like I let him know that they're hot. And so not last year, but the year before, when they were playing the Eagles in the playoffs, and the double doink, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of running my mouth about the Bears, like we got this in the bag. Like Cody Parkey's gonna hit this field goal, and I'm in my room, and like my TV is on, their TV's on a delay, so like I'm like yeah, and then like he kicks it, and it was just like silence, like radio silence, and then I just hear Will like, oh, how about now, Kevin? Like just chirping me. Oh, it was a bad feeling.
Yeah.
Andre, do you get involved in any of that?
Well, football is not that big in my country, so I don't really watch football here.
That's fair. And one last question I have for you guys. Seems to be a big topic of discussion, but with Tom Brady now being down in Tampa Bay, how do you think he's going to do down there, especially now with Gronkowski joining him too?
I mean, I think he'll do well. Like, he's older, but he's got that like Tom Brady like routine or whatever he does. I don't know. Like, I feel like that guy, like him, like LeBron, I feel like those guys can play forever. So I feel like he'll do well. Gronk, I feel like if he can stay healthy, he's Gronk, like he's a machine. But yeah, I don't know too much about the Buccaneers. But I mean, hopefully they do well. Just don't be the Bears.
It's pretty impressive that he's still playing, honestly. I think their offense will do like well, but they don't have like a system. I don't think like the Patriots did, but it'll be interesting to see how both those teams do and kind of analyze it from there, because I'm sure the talking heads will talk about it every Sunday. So, but I hope he does well. I think it'd be good for the league.
Now, I lied. I do have one more question for you guys. Going into your fantasy football picks, not to be biased or anything, but who do you guys expect to be the big contenders in your league?
Us.
Wait, are you asking who on our team are good fantasy football players? Actually, our house has like what, the last two winners?
Yeah,
Andy, yeah, Andy and David are pretty good. I mean, Andy like still goes by like CFL rules, so he's not like that good. But I don't know. Bushy thinks he knows a lot about fantasy football, like, but no, he's good.
I think everybody's pretty in tune with it. There's a few guys like Bushy and Purby in the junior class. They get really into it. I don't know. There's a few guys in every class that are like really into it, and then a handful of guys that are kind of just along for the ride. So we'll see what happens, but I know that our house is the heavy favorites. I'll say it that way.
The junior class is good too, like Micah and Nolan and Spenny's all right, but yeah, it's super fun. We just kind of like play for bragging rights and talk smack the whole week. So it was really fun when Wally was on the team. We just all give him crap.
Yeah.
Thanks for a fun time for sure. Guys, I just want to thank you all again so much for taking time out of your day to talk to me, and I hope your first week of school is also going awesome. And then for you Husky fans, if you haven't already, make sure to download the SCSU Athletics app, now available on the Google Play Store and Apple Store. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank
you for having us.
Thanks, guys.